NBA viewership down? Is it what Gilbert Arenas said about it being too much money? Or is it what Shaq said, that it's just too boring? Or maybe it's just another reason. The numbers don't lie. The first doubleheader of the season on ESPN was down 42% from last year. And as for TNT's broadcast, it was 30%. I actually think there's about 4 or 5 reasons as to why this is happening, so let's get into it. Steph Curry and LeBron James are the league's darlings. Let's start with Gilbert Arenas' perspective, that it's too expensive to watch games. I do agree that it's very expensive not only to watch a game, but to go to a game. And I'm sure that factors into part of the reason, but I actually don't think this is one of the main reasons, because it's supply and demand, and people will pay the price to go to games, to watch the streams. But I do think there's a problem with the streaming services, and it has a lot to do with this. So to me, it's not the price, it's the inconvenience of having games blacked out despite the fact that you paid. When you're in a local market, you cannot watch the games despite the fact that you paid for League Pass. So if you're in New York, you can't watch the Knicks or the Nets because it is a local game. Besides that, you can't watch TNT games or ABC games on the League Pass either because they are national TV games. The whole point of paying for League Pass is so you can watch the games whenever you need to, wherever you are. I feel like this is more applicable for the national TV games, because what if someone just isn't in front of a TV, they want to watch the game? People would be okay with watching like the TNT commercials or the ESPN commercials, you know, because they need their revenue and stuff like that. I feel like people would be okay with that if they would put it on League Pass. It's just the inconvenience that you just can't watch it. Like, it's so complicated to just watch the games you want to watch, and nothing makes people more annoyed than complication. Reason number 2 is Shaq said the games are kind of boring to watch, too many three-pointers. To further Shaq's point, this is the three-pointers attempted for this season. Boston leads the way at 51 attempts per game. That's an insane amount of threes. For reference, a decade ago, the most three-pointers attempted in the league was by the Houston Rockets at 32. And after them, you couldn't find a team over 30. I don't necessarily have a problem with teams taking a lot of threes, but I do think that it does get boring when everybody seems to be doing the same exact thing. And sometimes it's just unnecessary. So this is what drives me nuts as a fan. When there is a fast break opportunity, 1-on-5 or nobody's even with you, and they pull up from the three-point line to take a shot. You have a wide open layup, dunk, whatever. That is a guaranteed 2 points. Why would you take a three? Like, that literally doesn't make sense to me, because the percentage to make a three is not higher than a wide open layup. If you're Steph Curry, then yeah, take the three. Like, that doesn't bother me, and people love to see Steph Curry takes threes because he is just so performance and he has so much showmanship with it, which we'll get to a little bit later. But in general, like, that just doesn't make logical sense to me, and that is part of what I think Shaq is saying. He didn't specify that kind of play, but those are the kind of things where fans are watching and we're like, that doesn't make sense. And some fans just don't want to see a bunch of threes being shot all the time. Variety is what keeps people engaged, so I can understand why this might be part of the issue as well. Although I don't think it's the main issue, but I do understand why I think this might be part of it. Remember I said I would talk about Steph Curry in a little bit? This is one issue that I think nobody's talking about, which might be one of the biggest issues. And what I mean by that is they bring in the most viewers. They are the most popular players. Everybody wants to watch them. Everybody wants to see a game, especially when they play against each other. It is must-see TV, and those games have the highest ratings every single year. The NBA posted this at the end of the year last year. The most viewed players on NBA social this season was number 1, LeBron James. Number 2, Steph Curry. When Steph Curry was put on national TV this year for the first time, it drew 2.14 million viewers, which was up 30% from the games last year. And it was the most watched game since opening week. I also saw this last year, but if you didn't know, out of the 27 most popular games, Steph Curry has all 27 of them. In the last 8 years, he has been featured in every single one of those games. Any game, it's him. But like I said, it's not just Steph Curry. LeBron as well. Steph and LeBron had the best ratings, especially when they played each other in the finals. The ratings were off the charts. So why do I think this is one of the biggest issues? I don't think the league has found their next LeBron or Steph Curry yet. There are so many talented players in this league. This is no slight to anybody. But Steph Curry and LeBron James check all the boxes. And it's hard to find someone who checks all the boxes. And they've tried making different players the face of the league. and none of them has been able to overcome the popularity of LeBron and Steph Curry. But the issue is they are nearing the end of their career and they still have not found someone to replace them. These two, at age almost 40 for LeBron and 36 for Steph Curry, every year still have the most popular games, the most views on social media, everything. It's them, and it's not even close. Because it's not just about being a great player. It's about the off-court personality. It's about having the showmanship and the performance, which I was talking about with Steph earlier with his three-point shooting. These two not only play basketball, they put on a show. You could tell they love it. They're amazing at it. They have the off-court personality, like I said. They literally check all the boxes. So why is this such an issue? The NBA is star-driven, and if they don't have that clear-cut, everybody wants to watch, whether you like them or not, face of the league, it's hard to get the viewership up. That's just my opinion, because again, viewership was never higher when it was Steph versus LeBron every single year, despite the fact that some people did not like to see the same team in the finals every year. But guess what? The views were never higher. Why? Because again, whether you like them or not, you will tune in to see what happens. I think until they find that next LeBron or Steph Curry, I think there will always be some viewership, issues, even if they fix some of the other things. Like, it will definitely be better, but I do think this will always be part of the issue. And that's not necessarily the league's fault. Like, things happen. They can't, make someone check all the boxes. But what I'm saying is, this is something the league needs. One of the other issues, sorry Kawhi, you were on the picture, is load management. I think this is an obvious one. Obviously, if you're hurt, there's nothing you can do about that. But it's not the fact that players are hurt, it's the uncertainty that fans have. I made a video recently talking about how NBA injuries are up to start the season. Like, statistically, it has been shown that there are more injuries now than there was at the same time last year. So it's not us fans being crazy thinking there's more injuries. There actually are. So why is this an issue? Again, you can't control if you get hurt. That is really not anybody's complaint. It's that when you go to watch a game or you pay to go to a game, you're not sure who's gonna play. And 10 years ago or so, that really wasn't an issue. Like, it felt like you knew someone was going to play, or rather you knew the star on your team was going to play. Even for national TV games, you don't even know sometimes if your favorite player or the star is going to play. And that uncertainty is another thing similar to the complicated streaming services, turns people off. Again, injuries are not a player's fault if they get hurt, but it just unfortunately combines with the issue.